So our lab focuses on understanding the movements and motor control. What I mean by that is when we make movements, in our daily life, we take it for granted. Even when we, approach for a cup of water, we want to understand the actual neural mechanisms that how we make these movements. And when we look at the brain, we see various neural activity patterns that eventually result in these movements, but we don't know what they mean. So our goal is to understand the meaning of those activity patterns. In terms of the neurological diseases it affected, of course, for example, stroke, Parkinson's disease, and multiple sclerosis, pretty much all the neurodegenerative diseases. Just understanding, those movements and their mechanisms is essential to develop new either rehabilitative therapeutic approaches or any medications or any other therapeutic approach. Most of our lab is focused on basic science studies, which means we perform detailed behavior analysis in various upper extremity movements, and also neural recordings and manipulations using either electrophysiology or two-photon calcium imaging to look at the neural activity patterns as the mouse is performing those movements, and then do a detailed analysis of that. We recently developed some algorithms to analyze the movements as the subjects, either these are the experimental animals or the human subjects, patients from the clinic, their 3D skeletal model and 3D kinematics as they make the movements. That allows us to really go into the details of how the movements are executed, identify different patterns of movements, even in healthy subjects. And then in disease states, how the abnormal movement patterns emerge. And a small but growing part of the lab is also focused on the clinical side of analyzing the movements. I see stroke patients, for example, in their recovery phase, and the abnormal movement patterns that they develop later after their stroke is incredible. It gives me personally a lot of insight and thinking about how do they develop late after stroke, and what are the mechanisms of those, and we just have to first understand those mechanisms before going into developing any therapeutics for them.